Hi, I just thought I'd do a quick video to explain to you a little bit more about GCSE Geography. So for this lesson, it's just to listen a little bit about what it's all to do with, and then if you've got any questions, you can email me or ask them on Show My Homework. So, what's it all about? Why should you choose it, or should you choose it to study GCSE? So first of all, the two teachers and myself and Mr. Gilbert, and we're shown in this picture at Dawlish Warren doing some virtual fieldwork last year when the school was in lockdown. So we did some virtual fieldwork for our year 10s. Obviously it goes without saying that I believe that geography is the best subject and it's so relevant to absolutely everything you do. And so your future is going to definitely have geography in it, whatever you do. So we do a whole range of different topics at GCSE. These are the kind of topics that we do. So there's 3 different exams that you build up to during the 2-year course. The first one's called Our Natural World, and that's paper 1. Paper 2 is called People in Society, and paper 3 is called Geographical Exploration. Basically, all of the physical geography units are in paper 1. So things like earthquakes, volcanoes, changing climate, so global warming, the impact of that around the world, coasts, rivers, ecosystems, rainforests, how we're threatening them, the Arctic, polar ecosystems and how climate change is impacting them and how they work as a system. Paper 2 is much more about human geography, although they both interlink quite a lot. So we learn a lot about cities in poor countries, cities in richer countries, what the issues in those cities are. So why so many people live in cities in poorer countries and what impact that's having, and why so many don't have access to the same kind of things that we would expect. Also what issues we have in our cities in this country and in places like Los Angeles. We look at development, so we look a lot at the Congo and the issues in that country, so the conflict, why people there are so poor even though they have so many resources, and that links a lot to what you've done in year 9 about the Congo, mobile phones, coltan mining, that kind of thing. The unit on the UK is all about the UK's influence in the world, so it looks a little bit about Middle Eastern wars and why the UK is involved and what impact we have in those countries. It also looks at multiculturalism and how the UK's changed over time, that sort of thing, really up-to-date stuff. And then resources is all about food, water and energy, and how our population growth is causing challenges for our food supply, our water supply and our energy supplies, and the different things that are being done around the world. So things like desalination, so changing fresh water into salty water, things like food banks in this country, supporting families that don't have enough money to supply children with food, looking at the issues with food supply in Bangladesh, all around the world, how water wars are breaking out, how China's built the biggest dam in the world, which has submerged 13 cities. So a whole host of different things, and I could go on. Paper 3 is all about how you use your geography knowledge to make justified decisions. So you basically get questions about a place that has issues, and you have to sort of decide the best way forward. So what solutions, what strategies you would use to make the situation in that chosen place better. Okay. So this is just how it's assessed, which is a little bit boring to be honest at this stage, but basically paper 1 and paper 2 are both 35% of your marks, and then paper 3 is 30%. So very even to be honest, and you do all of those exams at the end of the GCSE. You do a whole host of skills in geography, so we do obviously learning in the classroom, but we do a lot of field work as well. You do data collection, questionnaires, you do map skills, you use a lot of IT, so using geographical information systems, satellite imagery, doing research, all sorts of things, and it links to so many different subjects as well. So a few things that I thought to sort of get you thinking. So we ask a lot of questions in geography. So what has this baby got to do with rivers, for example? And basically this baby was born in a tree in Mozambique, back in the floods in Mozambique, and she made headlines, and she's still alive today, and she survived, but it was a major flood event where thousands of people died. So we look at kind of natural hazards and the impact it has on people. So how physical geography, like rivers, have a direct impact on people's lives. So we also look at this, which you might have done in year 8. So we look at how actually this house in the east of the UK is only worth £1. It's on the market for £1. And that's because it's so dangerously close to the sea that in the next 12 months it probably will fall into the sea. But we look at the impact, again, physical geography, coast and coastal erosion and climate change, how that impacts people's lives. We look at population. At the moment, population is well over 7 billion. So more than 7 billion people live on planet Earth. And one of my favourite things is David Attenborough, in his lifetime, the population's nearly quadrupled. And even when I was born, the population was only 4 billion, and it's now 7.5. So population and what impact that has on resources. We look at cities. This is a really interesting image of Rio de Janeiro. So on the one side, you've got the wealth, where people have got their own swimming pools on their balconies, and it's all gated and protected. And then just outside, on the other side of looking out of their window, you've got the slums, the favelas, where the people don't even have fresh running water. They have to scavenge, and they live a much poorer quality of life. So we look at inequality and the causes of it, and then also maybe some of the strategies. We look at development as well. So we look at the impact of diamond mining, how, you know, rich people want diamonds, we want gold, we want all of this amazing food, and the impact that has, positive and negative, on different parts of the world. Interestingly, goats in many African countries are way more valuable to them than diamonds, because so many companies actually exploit the people to get the diamonds, whereas a goat can provide the people with food and can sustain their lives. Climate change, we look a lot at climate change as well, and the impact it could have in the UK. So this is a map showing the potential of flooding, coastal flooding around the UK, and obviously it's a really scaremongering image, but we actually look at how our local actions can have global impacts. So small changes to our lives can have make a big difference, and you did a lot about that in the sustainability unit in year 9 as well. So a lot of it links to what you've already done. We look at deserts, desertification, how more and more of our land is being swallowed up by deserts because the climate's changing so rapidly, and the impact that has on humans. We look at migration. Okay, so we look at why people leave their home countries, what different reasons there are, what impacts that has on the host country and the country that they're leaving, the donor country. We look at the journeys of those migrants and the impacts and feelings, so a lot of empathy, that kind of thing. We look at different jobs, we look at the economy, how it changes, we look a little bit at politics, so like Donald Trump and the impact he's had on the United States and so on. And that links a lot into the A level as well. So, a couple of little things to summarise. The 2 GCSE Geography teachers at Sidmouth are myself and Mr Gilbert, and we work really closely together, make sure, you know, our lessons are really similar, field work is run by both of us, and so on. Our results are consistently above national average, and we're always in the top 10 of schools in the southwest. Some years we've been in the top 5. And all of our classes are mixed ability because it's based on which students pick geography and which options. So all of the lessons are fully differentiated. So if you're a really able student, you'll be stretched and challenged. If you find things a little bit more difficult, you'll be given a lot of support and help to access the learning that you need to do. We do at least 2 field trips, 2 that are local. So we go to Dawlish Warren to do some coastal field work, and we often go to Bristol to do some urban field work. But we also are trying to get a trip to Iceland arranged, which obviously isn't compulsory because it's quite expensive, but a trip to Iceland every 2 years. We were planning on going this spring, but actually that will be postponed, and we may well run a trip in 2022, in the spring of 2022, or even the spring of 2023. Either of those years would be available to you because you'd either be in year 10 or in year 11. And you get plenty of time to sort of save up and pay in instalments and so on. So a little bit more on field work. So this is some images of field work at Dawlish Warren. So there's a couple of pictures of some students doing field work from a while ago, and then a couple of funny pictures of me and Mr. Gilbert when we were doing our virtual field work back in the summer, and my flip-flop broke, so I wasn't really very well equipped to do field work. I should have been wearing walking boots. And this is, Iceland. Hopefully we'll get a chance to organise a trip to Iceland, like I said, either next March or, if not, March 2023. And we go and visit so many of the sites, amazing landscapes that Iceland has to offer. The cities, the coasts, the waterfalls, the hot springs, all of that sort of thing. So loads of stuff to see. So geography, there's a few people that have made some really good quotes, I think, about geography. It's more than just memorising places on maps, although knowing places is quite useful. It's about understanding the complexity of the world. And we all live in the world, we're all going to live in the world, we all need to know how it works, in my opinion. There's some other quotes on there as well from other people. And finally, if you've got any questions relating to this, about whether you think you should do GCSE, whether you're able to do GCSE, that sort of thing, then just email me, jgill@sidmouthcollege.devon.sch.uk. But basically, it's all to do with issues, how the physical environment has an impact on humans and how humans have an impact on the physical environment. So it's probably one of the most, if not the most relevant subject you could do. Thank you.